Greetings and welcome, my friend, to another video to help you break free of the diet and exercise rat race on the Red Delta Project YouTube channel. I'm Matt Schifferly, and speaking of the fitness rat race, do you ever feel like your workouts resemble that of like a dead-end job? I mean, it started out great. You were getting stronger, you were adding reps, you were lifting more weight, you were getting some progress, but after a while, you're just putting in the work, and no matter how hard you work and no matter how much you work, you just can't quite seem to get ahead. And you don't want to quit, because that means that you're losing the very sustenance that's helping you make proverbial ends meet, but you just don't see any point in continuing if you're not going to be getting stronger or getting better results. So you're just kind of in this purgatory dead-end job that is your workout. The good news is that there is a way to keep moving forward and transcend this dead-end feeling in your workouts. But in order to do that, you have to go beyond mere weight and reps and just tracking those things in your workout log. See, for the most part, when it comes to our strength training, it's very easy to get fixated on the two fundamental variables that basically make up your success. You've got volume or time, and you've got tension. So how much tension is in the muscle is a reflection of your strength, and how much volume you're using is a reflection of your stamina and endurance. So it makes sense to focus on weight and reps, because if you want to get stronger, you need more tension. If you want more endurance, you need more endurance. And if you want to build muscle, you need a combination of the two. So of course you're going to focus on those. However, there is some fine print with that. Because yes, your strength training fundamentally does boil down to time and tension, which is in total your muscular work capacity. But your muscular work capacity is built on the foundation of your muscular proficiency. In other words, the skills and the ability to use your body in a more effective way over time. And your muscular proficiency is based off a number of more subjective things that are kind of hard to put a number to. Simple things like tension control, how well you can engage your muscles. Can you engage the muscles at different lengths? Like I can get my biceps to contract here, but how about here? What about range of motion or range of tension? When we're doing a pull-up, can you keep your lats engaged all the way down? Can you even move all the way down? Or coming all the way up, for that matter, where your chest is coming to the bar. Mobility is another one. Stability. All of these sorts of qualities are the subjective variables that add up to your muscular proficiency, and they're the foundation to your muscular capacity. So in other words, your capacity is always limited by the degree of your proficiency, and if that proficiency is not something you're actively working to improve, your ability to have more tension, strength, more time, endurance, or build muscle is always going to be limited, and why you get stuck in those endless plateaus. There's lots of different ways you can do this. First and foremost is just simply trying to do the technique better. It's crazy how when you just look for ways to improve a technique, you're noticing, oh geez, I never really thought that my elbows were winging out like that. What if I just do my push-ups and I keep squeezing in a little bit, or my shoulders lifting a little bit? Like, okay, yeah, I'm starting to notice these things now that I'm focusing on technique. Sometimes that stuff gets pretty apparent, and just managing that can be a good start. Another simple technique is just record yourself on video doing it. You can observe a lot by watching. Just the other day, I was doing some rear flies on these straps here, and I noticed my right elbow is bending more than my left one. Totally unaware of it. Didn't even notice it until I was watching myself film those videos on the editing deck. So now it's like, okay, that's something I need to work on, and the right side of my back's going to get stronger as a result. But probably the simplest and easiest way to improve your muscular proficiency is to just observe and try to fight against your technical erosion. Technical erosion is just how your technique breaks down under fatigue. So if you're doing push-ups on straps, you're starting off nice and strong, but towards the end of a set, you're getting shorter range of motion, your head's starting to dip down, your forearm is breaking, your elbows are winging, whatever it is, you're going to break down in your technique in some way, shape, or form sooner or later. When you observe that, and it's like, okay, I'm starting to bow with my hips, or my elbows are starting to wing out, write it down in your log, because you're keeping a log, right? And that's what you fight against. That's what you correct. That's how you keep making progress. Even if your weight and reps stay the same, if you can do 10 suspension push-ups, and on the 9th or 10th, you're starting to wing out, and then your next workout, you're better at keeping your elbows in, that's still progression in your work capacity, even though your weight and reps may not be changing. Because keep in mind that your muscular work capacity is not about weight and reps. It's about time and tension, which are very heavily correlated to weight and reps, but they're not quite the same thing. And sometimes when you're working on your muscular proficiency, your weight may need to be lighter, or you may not be able to do as many reps. If you're getting full ranges of motion, especially on things like pull-ups, you may notice your repetitions go down. But if the amount of time that you're using for each repetition is getting longer, and you're utilizing roughly the same amount of time and tension to do 6 pull-ups rather than 10 shorter pull-ups, your work capacity is actually the same, even though weight and reps may actually be changing around. And probably the most important thing about focusing on improving your muscular proficiency to improve your capacity later on is that it gets you out of feeling like you're in that dead-end job kind of workout mentality where you're just showing up and just mindlessly putting in the work. Instead, it keeps you engaged, keeps you something to focus on and improve upon. It gamifies your workouts a little bit and gives you these little things that you can still make progress in. So even if your weight and reps stay the same, you have more of a mastery over the movement, which not only feels great, but it also just makes you feel better emotionally. It feels more rewarding for your workouts, and it also helps to prevent things like nagging aches and pains and injuries in the long run as well. If you want to play with this in practical application, check out these micro workouts I created for you right here. Make sure like, share, subscribe, all that sort of thing, especially for the weekly calisthenics training tips that I come out with on the channel here every single week. Talk to you in the next video, folks. Be fit and live free.